Ladies and gents, we are witnessing history here. This is not a protest. A protest is where people walk, there are posters and everything. Sometimes it's violent. This has been going on for long enough, and now it's full blown. This is a revolution, the way it looks. Tehran is in flames as Iranian forces withdraw. This is how a revolution works, right? Protesters hit Iran's capital with surprising clash. It's now or never. That's what's happening right now. Now, I have to believe that Venezuelan, activity played part in this. There is a shift in the air, which matters. Obviously, this was brewing for a while now with the US bunker buster bombs, Israel attacking a lot of key infrastructure, and they're having no water. This was a breaking point, the last straw that broke camel's back. So, yeah, we are literally witnessing a history here. 20, 30, 50, whatever years from now, people will make a historian videos and historical things or movies even, why not? Documentaries about this, the time we live in. Let's watch one.
The Iranian regime tried to kill the revolution by killing the internet, but it backfired completely. Instead of dispersing, the protests have grown into a nationwide uprising that has now reached IRGC's strongholds. The hometown of Supreme Leader Khamenei has fallen. Last night was a historic turning point in Iran as protesters in Mashhad forced security forces to retreat and set fire to police vehicles in the city center. But the collapse did not stop there. We have reports that the strategic port of Bandar Abbas has been seized by civilians.
Bandar just mean port.
Cutting off a vital economic lifeline. But there's a dark reality to all this. As the internet goes dark, the death toll rises. So here's the full breakdown of the deadliest night yet. We start with one of the most shocking scenes coming out from last night. A protester in a car running into a group of security personnel. Take a look. This type of clash.
I get it, it's a revolution, but seeing a people getting nearly deleted, it feels weird. I guess this is how revolution goes, but it's still like, it's fucked up to see something like that. But you have to live in really oppressive regime in order to collapse this, which Iran is basically is like you're restricted with everything, right? Iran, Islamic Republic of Iran. Are they going to change the name if the regime does change? Are they going to go back to what is it called, Persia or whatever? I don't know.
Likely accelerated after the regime shut down the internet. The government plan was to cut off communication lines and then slowly
just switch off the internet and everything's going to be fine. That's how it works.
Increase the brutality until protesters go home. But it didn't actually work that way. The security forces were actually forced to retreat in country's second largest city of Mashhad. They now only protect a few government buildings and can't do anything about protesters setting fire to police cars in the city center. This is a very big symbolic win because this is the city where...
Here's what I want to say to the soldiers or whoever, Iranian forces. If you see shit is happening at this level where everyone's pissed off, in the end of the day, you serve your countrymen, not the guy who's leading. In the end of the day, however dictator a dictator can get, that dictator is still not a king. You're not serving in the name of the king. There is a point where you're like, you know what? Maybe these people are right. Fuck it. I'll resign and just like, don't escalate this. Otherwise, you're just going to get hurt. Because entire country rises up, doesn't matter how big of forces there are, you can't really fight the whole fucking country. That's just stupid.
Where the Khamenei was born and raised in. The holy city used to be a rock-solid regime territory, but last night it exploded. Thousands flooded the streets, chanting death to the dictator and even forcing out IRG forces in some areas. In fact,
what is it, like 50, 60 years? Yeah, 50 or something years. This is history in the making after half a century.
All across the country, last night was a huge night. It was the 12th day of the protest on January 8th, and the protesters have now spread to 153 cities and towns. In the capital city of Tehran, protesters actually arrived just a few hundred meters from the command center of the IRGC near the main square. This is the IRGC headquarters in the main city, clearly a very well-guarded location. We also had some protesters set fire to a memorial plaque honoring the former commander Qasem Soleimani. I really feel like he's having a very bad time in these protests, because in every city, people are going after monuments that are built to honor him. I don't
Wait, isn't that the guy that USA used that, what is that missile, sword missile, to like specifically delete from a car? Or am I thinking of someone else? I don't know.
completely get this. Is it because the protesters cannot find anything else that symbolizes the regime? Or is it because they specifically hate this guy? If you're Iranian, maybe let us know down in the comments. And also, as you guys know, YouTube is not a fan of these videos that are giving you updates on
Yeah, seriously, like I don't even know if I can post this, not gonna lie. The things I've seen. We'll see.
protest. So if you can show us some support by hitting the subscribe button down below, it really does mean a lot. Now we move our focus to the coast. Protesters have taken over a key port city of Bandar Abbas. This city is one of Iran's most strategic port cities in the Persian Gulf, and it is crucial to Iran's economy and oil exports. Now it's in hands of furious civilians who are unhappy with the government's mismanagement. In fact, in some places, people are actually calling out for Trump. Take a listen.
Hi, Mr. Trump. Here is Mashhad City. Ayatollah killed my people. Please help to my people. Please help to Reza Pahlavi. Come to Iran. Baby Netanyahu. Please come to Iran. Please help to Iranian people. Ayatollah killed my people. Please help.
Well, guess what?
I mean, Venezuela didn't even ask, and it's like, I'm there, and then Venezuela was like, yeah, you know what, I like this. Iranian people are like, yeah, come here. Trump is gonna be there instantly. He's already been saying like, oh, don't touch, don't do that shit. I'll be there. There will be consequences. Trump is already saying that. Venezuelan level shit will happen in Iran from USA. I just believe that. No, if Trump said like, okay, enough, Venezuela just one-time thing, that would be a surprise to me.
President Trump was actually on a radio call yesterday, and he did make statements about what's going on in Iran. So take a listen.
What about Iran? Is the aim with Iran the collapse of that awful 47-year tyranny?
Well, I don't want to say it, but I will tell you they're not doing well. As you know, probably better than anybody, they're doing very poorly. And I have let them know that if they start killing people, which they tend to do during their riots, they have lots of riots. If they do it, we're going to hit them very hard.
Now, dozens have been killed. I know you don't.
See, that's just point blank. You kill people in this protest, I will attack you. He didn't tiptoe around it.
Red lines, but have you communicated to them what that limit of your patience is?
Well, some have been killed by, problems of crowd control and other things. We're watching it very closely. The crowds are so large, there's been a stampede. There's been 3 stampedes, and people have been killed in that, and I'm not sure I can necessarily hold somebody responsible for that. But they know, and they've been told very strongly, even more strongly than I'm speaking to you right now, that if they do that, they're going to have to pay hell.
Now, just a point of clarification, because we have seen some reports that point out that roughly 40 people have died in Iran so far. This number includes a few IRGC personnel too, but vast majority of the deaths have been protesters, and they have been because of the brutality of the regime forces. So I think it's unfair to say that all the people who've died have died because of a stampede. Anyways, next up, President Trump also had
I don't understand these forces. You are part of Iran. That's the case with every military soldier. You're part of Iran. There's a limit to how much you can follow your dictator. The level of shit is happening. How do you justify attacking your own people and killing them for sinking ship like that? What do you think is going to happen? I don't understand. Like, where is this like drive is coming from? Like, yeah, I'm not backing down. I'm going to fight back. You see the level of protests. You are part of the people. You probably a family member amongst those protests. Just say fucking no. Why are you attacking them?
had a message for the Iranian people who are protesting on the streets and risking their lives. Take a listen.
Do you have a message for the people of Iran, President Trump?
All I can say is you should feel strongly about freedom. There's nothing like freedom. You're brave people. It's a shame what's happened to your country. Your country was a great country. I remember years ago when I was a young real estate developer, friends of mine went to Iran and they did great. They built buildings in Iran. They're still up. Barely, by the way, but they're still up. I see pictures of them, apartment houses, and they did very well in Iran. They've passed away. They were very successful developers. They were great people, mostly New York developers, but they went to Iran and they built some pretty good jobs in Iran. And I remember they were saying the people.
This is the most funniest shit to me. First of all, I'm also like in construction, builder. Sure, why not? And every time I see Trump opening his mouth, he always goes back to being a builder. Doesn't matter what he do, doesn't matter what kind of, doesn't matter if he becomes 2-time president, doesn't matter how many wars he get involved in, doesn't matter what he does. In the end of the day, he's a fucking builder. He always talks about building and shit. I don't know, I kind of respect that shit. Like, yeah, all right. In the end of the day, he can find like talking about buildings every single time.
People are great. The whole place was great. It was a tremendous market, and now you look at it. Look what's happened.
Clearly, it was a big night because millions of Iranians took to the street to demand their freedom. So let's zoom out a bit and look at the big picture. Now, as you guys know, there was an internet blackout, so we don't have all the details yet. But based on the information we do have, this was by far...
Yeah, where is Musk's, what is it called? That satellite group when you need one. Musk should have just like said fuck you as a fuck you to Iran.
The largest protest against the Islamic Republic in their 47-year-old history.
It's not a protest. If an entire country, capitals, everything's overrun, this is definition of revolution.
Aggregated nationwide, the turnout reached multi-million levels.
Yeah, that's not a revolution. This is not a billion people country. If it reaches multi-million people, that's a revolution as there can be.
One of the largest demonstrations took place in the city of Mahat, Khamenei's hometown and a city tightly controlled by his inner circle. In Tehran, protests expanded into more affluent neighborhoods. Drivers also joined in with continuous honking, while bazaar merchants went on strike in around 50 cities nationwide. Student protests also erupted at least 36 universities, with openly anti-regime slogans being chanted. Iranian human rights group report at least 45 protesters killed, including 8 children, and hundreds injured. Yesterday alone saw 13 deaths, making it one of the bloodiest days so far.
Why are children part of the protest in the first place? That's just fucked up.
Iranian state media, while forced to acknowledge the unrest, was pushing a narrative of small crowds and emphasizing alleged attacks on security forces, a pattern that analysts warn may signal preparation for harsher repression. Social media, especially Instagram ahead of protests, showed unprecedented public coordination and solidarity. Shop closures announced in advance, emotional farewell messages, and strong virtual participation even from those unable to attend. Protests are expected to continue in the coming days, especially tomorrow. The movement's success will hinge on public's ability to neutralize the Islamic Republic's repressive apparatus. So far, the regime appears not to have fully deployed its full coercive capacity, relying instead on mass arrest and widespread injuries. If protests advance to the point of overrunning security and state institutions, the regime may resort to large-scale lethal violence.
I think Trump will get involved because that's the excuse he needs. At the global stage, in front of the people, he can just claim, like, I was there to liberate. So he can even claim that to his own people in America. Americans don't want war. If there is a war with Iran, that's a problematic. But if this shit happens, he can just say, I was liberating people. He's waiting for that. So if this shit becomes the way it says, like, Trump will get involved. That will happen in the future. The next few days are going to be interesting, man.
Violence. The role of Israel and the United States is crucial to the success of protest. In fact, last night we actually saw some reports that security forces were open firing in various cities. It was still nowhere close to what people were expecting, but it's important.
Security of what? Iranian security shooting Iranian people in Iranian cities?
Remember that the internet lockdown continues, and that's a worrying sign. We saw some footage coming out from the capital city of Tehran where we can hear the gunfire ringing while the protesters were marching on the streets.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why Americans constantly say like we like our Second Amendment. If shit like this happen in America, if shit like this happens where like internet is blocked, everything's blocked, and government is clamping down, everyone has a fucking shotgun. Yeah, that's very different scenario.
And because of reports like these, it seems like Iran is truly closing down to the outside world. We saw some reports that flights from Turkey could not land in Tehran, so they had to go back to Istanbul. And the same thing was reported for flights from other countries too. Now, this could likely be because of the electricity outage that the government is rolling out to crush the protest, but it could be for something else too.
Yeah, shut down their phone and like make it dark. I'm sure they'll go away. Okay, are these people, or are you trying to fly, like make insect fly away? Just turning it dark and shutting our internet is enough? The fuck?
The reason I say this is because we saw some top Iranian officials move their family out of the country. I'm not sure if that's good news for the protesters or bad news.
Both. It's a bad news and a good news. Bad news because they will do everything in their power as a last-ditch attempt. Good news because it's a last-ditch attempt. Weather it out and you're successful. What is it called? Like it's the darkest before dawn. That's what this shit is.
Lebanese foreign media reported that Iranian foreign minister's visit to Beirut was not merely ceremonial, as he arrived accompanied by his family. He was traveling with his wife, his daughter, and his sons. And according to the report, he and his family are expected to remain in Lebanon for an unspecified period of time.
Now, I like how like countries have such a buddy-buddy relation with other countries that their main officials can just go there and live.
Now, it is a little comical that the foreign minister brought an economic delegation to Lebanon, all the while Iranians are protesting the economic policies that his government has implemented. In fact, even the US Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent, said publicly yesterday that the Iranian economy is on the ropes. He went on to add that
they don't have a fucking water, man. $1 is equal to multi-million, whatever the currency is there. Of course, the economy is screwed.
Iran used to be an affluent society that maintained high standards of living, but now it's all crumbling. At the same time, we also had Vice President J.D. Vance make a public statement about Iran. I think this is the first one since the protests started. I could be wrong about that, but let's take a listen to the statement.
Regarding Iran, we are seeing the protests in Iran these days. The citizens are begging for help from the U.S. and Israel, naming streets in the city after President Trump. It seems there is an opportunity here that may not come again. Will the United States stand by the citizens of Iran? And if Israel decides to strike again the nuclear sites in Iran, is the U.S. expected to take part?
Well, look, we certainly stand by anybody who's engaged in peaceful protest, anybody who's trying to exert their rights for free association and to have their voices heard. Obviously, the Iranian regime has a lot of problems. And as the President of the United States has said, the smartest thing for them to have done, it was true 2 months ago, it's true today, is for them to actually have a real negotiation with the United States about what we need to see when it comes to their nuclear program. I'll let the President speak to what we're going to do in the future, but we certainly stand with anybody across the world, including the Iranian people who are advocating for their rights.
Now, that's all I have for you guys today. My name is Sam, and I'll see you.
Yeah. He can't really say much because Trump might get pissed off. But yeah, Trump was waiting for this shit. You don't just bomb the shit out of a country and then when an opportunity like this comes, you just sit around. That's just not gonna happen. When like COVID hit and like first time Putin attacked Ukraine, you knew that this is start of something, and then slowly like dominoes fall one after another. Like war started in Middle East. Conflict started somewhere else in like Asia, and like yeah. This Venezuela thing feels like like fall off like a domino. This will happen, Iranian thing happen, who knows what with Russia will happen because of the tankers. Things are amplifying. So next few days and weeks, this is start of a year, man. Next few days and weeks are going to be crucial. Right, well, if you like my next one, subscribe and I'll see you next time.